Good morning, I'm Adam Harris, and this is the day ahead for the week commencing Monday, the 7th of January 2019. Now, in terms of high impact calendar news, there is none scheduled for today. However, this coming Wednesday between 7 and 7:30 p.m. out of the US, I will be keeping an eye on the FOMC, which is likely to cause increased volatility in the markets. If we have a look at the currencies, we can see that the US dollar index, as well as say the euro against the US dollar, have been stuck within a range for several months now. I'm hoping FOMC is going to be the thing that's going to kick them out of their range, and finally we'll see some resolution there. If we have a look at the cryptocurrencies, they continue to form those bullish breakout patterns. My expectation is to see them break out to the upside this week, and hopefully that will be the beginning of the cryptocurrencies recovery. Then if we have a look at commodities, I'm really going to be focusing on gold. It's had a really strong move up on the daily. It's hit a level of resistance. I'm looking to see a weekly retracement to the downside so that it can test for support and then resume its uptrend. That's what I'll be keeping an eye out for this week. And then looking at the global indices as well as the equities and focus. Such a strong bullish turnout on the tail end of last week. I'm really going to be watching this week for a break of the high of last week's candles and looking to see if we get a bull rally. So it might just come later than December. We might start off with that this week. We've got a strong recovery of and holding and sitting on levels of support. So that being said, let me take you through to the charts and let me take you through that in more detail. Kicking off with currencies and looking at the euro versus the US dollar first, we're still stuck within that range, and although the US dollar index is looking a little bit weaker and it's looking as though it's going to head down, I'm not going to really follow through on anything until I see it break outside of this range, the euro break outside of this range as well. So there, but it does look, at least for today, as though on the table we have a weaker US dollar. And again, keeping an eye out for FOMC coming out on Wednesday. Now, looking at cable as well, again, we had that bullish divergence. We're starting to head towards the highs up here. There's a level of resistance up here, expecting and looking to see this breakout through that level and head on higher with a weaker US dollar. Then looking at some of the euro pairs, some of the yen pairs on my watch list. Beg your pardon. They've all pulled back into the moving averages, fanning out, and I am looking for some potential swing trading opportunities to the downside. Although we've quite overextended with this move, the momentum indicators seem relatively happy. So I am at least going to consider some of these as potential swing trading opportunities to have a look at those as they continue to the downside. Again, for example, here we've got euro yen pulling back close to the moving averages, but looking to see if I get a nice bearish candle today and then looking for a break of the low of that as price should continue lower. Then Kiwi Swissy is added to my watch list today. So one of the things I'll be looking for is a potential swing trading opportunity here. Momentum indicators seem nice and happy. We've got a nice downtrend here. Nice bearish candle in the moving averages in the sell zone there in the 10 and 20 moving averages, and looking for a break of the low of Friday's candle to have this price action resume and continue to head lower. So that's what's on my watch list in terms of currencies today. With the cryptocurrencies, starting off with Bitcoin, just seeing that we did actually get this gap up over this level of resistance. So generally, this is a bullish breakout pattern. I want to get us past this level of resistance here to see price move higher. Not really anticipating any reason why it shouldn't. For me, my expectation today is to see that continue to head a little bit higher. We've got uptrend forming here on Ripple as well. Higher lows, nice little bullish candle broken above the high of that. Definitely some resistance on the way, but overall this is a nice bullish looking pattern. We've got Ethereum as well. Keeping an eye on that, and effectively what I'm going to keep an eye out for here, this is a weekly chart, is we're in a nice area here to form a bearish pattern. Should we break above that, that will then get us free of this and price will start to head high. And Ethereum being the most bearish of the lot, this is what I'd like to see, is break above this level really for me to start to be convinced that there's some potential here in terms of growth on the cryptocurrencies. And in the commodities on the move, looking at gold coming up into a level of resistance. There's also another one up through a little bit higher, just above 1310, and this is a really good area for price. It's a bit overextended here. You can see on the weekly time frame, very nice healthy trend on the 4-hourly, good on the daily, and looking very keen to continue to head higher. But I'd like to see it pull back into a level of support and then continue on upwards. So it's starting to become a little bit overextended on the weekly. However, I've got to say there's all signs to it pointing to, or at least wanting to continue higher for the time being. But at some point, I'm really looking to see a weekly retracement back to test this level of resistance for support to continue higher. It's actually a little bit similar with silver. So silver also has that potential to do that retracement. You can see it coming back into a level of support, very nice and clear there. There's also another one up a little bit higher than that, so close towards 1630. And if it continues through to that, that's fine. But at some point, I am looking for this to come back. This would have been nice to have it come back and test this level of resistance for support. However, if it breaks through this, I'll be looking to keep an eye at these levels for re-entries certainly, but nice healthy retracements on the weekly timeframes. Then having a look at Brent out of the US. This is really the level I'm going to be focusing on here. Do we manage to break above it, or are we stuck below it? So this is a daily time frame, and there's a potential swing trading opportunity if price wants to continue down. However, the momentum indicators are looking nice and bullish, just implying that this trend is likely to do a bit of a consolidation or a change in direction, and therefore I'm not as confident in the continuation of that bearishness, and so I'm going to be a little bit more cautious. My expectation is to see it actually break above that level. Palladium looking really nice. We did get that breakout, so that's a really nice entry into that move to the upside there. So that's looking nice and bullish, and very happy to see that take off. So that's I'm in that one as well. And then ETFs, sugar. So keep an eye on this. This is very nice. This is now added to my watch list, just showing you what my what I'm going to be looking for here this week is to have price retrace back into this level of support, and I'll be looking for a re-entry, ideally from this area, however from the moving averages as well, but I'll be looking for retracements on this. Momentum indicators look nice and healthy. We've had a breakthrough of this level. Nice, it's nice to see price come back, retest it, and continue on lower. With the global indices, in short, what I'm going to be looking for is for these to head higher, breaking the highs of last week, so heading up through levels of resistance. So here is Wall Street at a level of resistance. I'd like to see it move higher. There's technically an uptrend actually happening here on the daily, comparing it to the S&P 500. On the weekly, really just to explain kind of what I'm looking for here is we've got a swing low here, price heading up towards the moving averages, and also to potential levels of support and resistance for the weekly, at least for those time frames for the S&P 500. Then looking at, say, NASDAQ, the US Tech 100, to give you a sense of the bigger picture here. In terms of the monthly, we've got a nice little bullish candle close to that buy zone, off a level of historical support, bullish candle starting there. Yes, we're only heading into the second week of January, so it's too soon to really tell, but that is really the picture that can potentially unfold, is getting a bullish, strong bullish candle on there and seeing that head higher. We've got the UK 100 pulling back into a level of resistance at 6,900, and in the sell zone, we've got the 50, 20, and 10 in a bearish formation, and a strong rejection candle here on the weekly this week would give me an opportunity next week on the break of the low that to head lower. So we've got, again, US markets looking relatively bullish, potentially as well, and when I say potentially, I mean for a slightly longer period of time, and the UK 100 starting could still end up actually continuing its downtrend. We've got Germany here now officially in an uptrend on the daily, back into levels of resistance, but for the time being we do occasionally pull back to the 50 moving average and head lower, so that can still be the case, but as we head away from the US, not necessarily as bullish, but also definitely not bearish. So UK and Germany keeping an eye on those, what with Brexit being back in the news again. Of course, Hong Kong just showing you this level of support and a strong weekly rejection candle here, so looking to see this head higher, but here is the strong level of resistance. If we do break through that, then the picture changes significantly, but for the time being, looking to see it head up to test those levels again, and Australia 200 really here just showing you again how that price is now attempting to stay above this level of support that we've had in since December, potentially November, and looking to see price head higher. If we do form a swing low there, that'll also support that idea of most of the markets around the world doing another bit of a leg up and attempting to stay bullish. And then finally, with equities in focus, looking at Facebook here, coming back up into that level of resistance, likely to break through it. The really nice one to have a look at here is Google, Alphabet. This is looking at it on a monthly time frame to give you some perspective and seeing how strong that recovery has actually been above that historical 1,000 level. Strong bullish candle holding support there, so that looking quite nice and bullish. Then having a look at, say, Amazon as well, Apple, all of them producing some strong bullish signals. Apple's still within the buy zone, the 10 and 20 moving averages off a level of historical significance, 1,500, also producing a bullish candle, and it continues. So for all of these, that is pretty much the signals we're getting, or the situation that's building there is strong bullish setups. We've still got Boston Scientific within the moving averages, similar to Microsoft also attempting to produce a bullish candle here. It's a good, strong, healthy correction there, and a nice little opportunity there, depending on how this candle closes, to see it continue to head back up to its highs if it does do that. And then on my more bearish setups here, the only one is significant that I want to draw your attention to is Standard Chartered, where I was looking to see a break of the low of this level last week. Instead, we ended up with a bullish candle, strong bullish candle showing a rejection of that level. So this market now looking quite bullish. So all of these really looking less bearish and more bullish across the board there. I want to wish you a wonderful day and a great week ahead. And if it's trending, I'll be there. Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button. If you want to stay abreast of what's happening in the market, I'll be producing and bringing you the latest in the markets every morning in a freshly produced video.